Good evening and welcome to Death Creations, our virtual educational series about end of life. My name is Julie Evans. I'm the executive director of Casa de la Luz Foundation in Tucson, Arizona. And for those of you who don't know us, our vision is to transform the end of life experience into the final act of living well. And one of the ways we try to accomplish this is through community education. And now that we're living in a very virtual world, our community used to just be Tucson and Southern Arizona, but we have folks with us tonight from across the nation, from Mexico, Canada, and I think I saw one from the UK. So I want to welcome you and thank you so much for taking your time to be with us. And this is our first game night, and I love games, so I'm super excited about this. I'm gonna turn it over to Megan, who will go over tonight's platform. Megan is our Zoom queen. Megan.
Well, thank you for that awesome introduction. My name is Megan, and I will be the Zoom moderator for tonight's session. Before we begin, I'd like to go over just a few different features of tonight's platform. So tonight we are using a Zoom meeting, which means that all participants will have access to a microphone and a camera. So if at any time you need to mute yourself, there's a button on the left-hand side of your screen that says mute. You can mute and unmute yourself. So we ask that you please keep your microphones muted unless you're speaking. And then right next to that, you can also see an icon that says stop video. And you can use this when you want to share a video of yourself, or if you want to not. And then in the middle of your screen, you're also going to see a chat feature. Feel free to use this if you have any questions or want to write any comments for us. And then on the top right-hand side of your screen, you're going to see a little icon that says view. And so if you click on that, we recommend that you select gallery view. That way you are able to view everyone in this Zoom meeting.
Great. Thanks, Megan. So hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer, and I'm the executive assistant with Casa de la Luz Foundation. We're so happy that you could join us for our first game night featuring the Death Deck. So the Death Deck was created by author LoCicero and Lisa Pahl, who's a licensed clinical social worker. And it's a unique card deck and conversation tool that encourages players to share their thoughts and stories about life and death. We're going to be using Zoom's polling and breakout rooms throughout the evening to answer some thought-provoking questions and hopefully have a lot of fun. For more information on the Death Deck, you can visit their website at www.thedeathdeck.com. You can also like and follow them on social media. We are very fortunate this evening to have one of the creators of the Death Deck, Lisa Pahl, with us this evening. So if you would please join me in giving a warm welcome to Lisa. She's going to talk to us a little bit about how the Death Deck came to be.
Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you to this community for using our game for these conversations, as well as for allowing me to be here tonight. I did want to mention, Megan, I'm not sure if you saw in the chat, but someone was having a hard time hearing, so just wanted to alert you to that. So the Death Deck is a game. Of course, I have one handy because my whole garage is full of them. But it's a game that I developed with my friend Lori. And I met Lori when I was the hospice social worker for her husband, Joe. Joe was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer at the age of 43 and unfortunately died at 44. Joe and Lori had two young kids, aged 2 and 4 at the time. And so I was there helping with this final stage of Joe's life. He was only on hospice for about 2 weeks, which is fairly common with someone that is that young. He and Lori had tried every option available for them, as he wanted to live as long as possible with his family. And after some time of providing support to Lori through bereavement and grief support and many hours in her backyard, we began some conversations about how she felt almost cheated out of this time with Joe. And his final days were pretty chaotic. She did not know what he wanted. They had completed their living will, and they had life insurance, and he even had an advanced healthcare directive, but they had never talked about any of these things. So they were just in a folder in the drawer. When he got his diagnosis of pancreatic cancer, he was determined, and he entered into what many of us see often as this fighting mode. And it became kind of taboo for Lori to bring up what might happen if you die, because he just was focused on fighting. So there were a lot of decisions that that she had to make on his behalf that she didn't feel confident in making, such as how much pain medication did he want? He was young, and he lost the ability to speak, which happens sometimes, especially in young people, that it just takes, the dying process is a longer process. And so Lori was really uncertain about what steps she should take, how much medication he should have. We were guiding her, but his family had an idea and she had an idea, and they didn't match up. So a few years after I finished providing support to Lori, she reached out and said, hey, let's get together. I don't do this with all my hospice families. She struck a chord in me, and her story did too, and we developed a friendship. And through that time, we started having these conversations about why had she and Joe never, ever talked about death and dying, ever. And I've now worked in end of life for about 15 years. I've worked in the ER setting as well as hospice. 15 years in hospice and about 8 years in the ER. And so time and time again, I see people coming in with either a sudden medical crisis, like a stroke or heart attack. And then I see people in hospice who have a terminal diagnosis. And in both settings, families are often not talking about what they would want at end of life. And what I've learned is that the advanced directive is really, really helpful, especially in telling the medical professionals who you want to be making decisions for you. But what it doesn't do is give that person confidence in making those decisions for you, because they don't really know what that checkbox means. They don't know, the ins and outs of if you would want visitors, if you can't speak for yourself. Do you want a lot of people around you, or do you want it to be quiet? Do you want music or not? Do you prefer to be more coherent, or is pain management most important? So we created the game to try to get people to have some of these conversations, as well as to try to normalize talking about death and life in a game format, as well as just around family and friends. So we used multiple choice questions so we could add a little bit of humor. Some of it's corny, some of it is just an attempt, but the idea is to lighten the conversations and make them more fun, if you will. The other way that you can play, if you want to play with family and friends, is to partner up and guess each other's answers. So you could have another couple over Zoom and ask the multiple choice questions, and then you guess each other's answers. And what that does is reveal how much or little you know about what your partner thinks, as well as it kind of, it turns it into a game aspect, and it takes away some of the weight of the conversation. So that's why and how we created the game, and we're just so excited that people are finding it helpful and useful and starting these conversations. So thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much, Lisa. With that, let's go ahead and get started playing the game. So just to let you know kind of the format for this evening, we are going to have 8 rounds of 2 poll questions, followed by a discussion question in the breakout rooms. When a poll question pops up, we invite you to make your selection and then click submit. And then we will be able to see kind of what the read of the room is. So here is our first poll question. If you could find out the age at which you'll die, would you want to know? Yes, it would let me maximize every minute I have left. No way, that would send my anxiety into overdrive. Or only if it's happening tomorrow. So I debated about playing Jeopardy music during this time, so I don't think we need.
You could hum it for us, Jennifer.
I'm not that good at humor. All right, so Megan will let us know when everyone's answered. So make sure and click submit once you're chosen your option.
Looks like we just have one more. There we go.
All right. It looks like 46% said no way, that would send my anxiety into overdrive. So yeah, not always. People don't usually want to know, I guess, the ending date. Okay, so our next poll question. Which of these would you be most mortified to have as the cause of your demise? An erroneous swim in piranha-infested waters, an electrical mishap hanging holiday lights, or death by nachos?
I'm going to talk during this just to give you a little understanding of this question. Lori has a friend who had C happen to them. That actually turned into quite a story from the family, and they had given us permission to use that question. And it turns out that is the one most mortifying.
I was telling someone before, I always pictured the Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation with the electrical mishap. So
every time you hang up the Christmas lights, right? You picture that.
Exactly. All right. So now we're on to our first discussion question. As Megan gets ready to send you into your breakout rooms, you're going to have 4 minutes to discuss. After the 4 minutes, you will be prompted to return to the main room by clicking the return button. Or if you're in the middle of a discussion, you'll have an additional 30 seconds to wrap things up, and then Zoom will return you automatically. So if there aren't any questions, our first discussion question is, if you could plan your own celebration of life party, where would it take place and what would be the theme? I think we're all back. Is that right, Megan?
Yes, everyone should be back now.
Okay, great. Well, I hope you all had some great discussions. I know in our group, this consensus was somewhere on the beach, sand between our toes, so that was lovely. All right, on to a poll question. What kind of griever are you? Open, not afraid to talk, pray, meditate, cry, or whatever helps. A distractor, keep me busy and focus on projects and tasks. Or a wreck, seriously, someone may have to watch me 24/7. I'll just share. I'm a distractor. I have to keep busy. Let's see if the room agrees with me. LCSW. Oh, it looks like it's a split decision. 50% say they're open and not afraid to talk, and 50% say they are, like me, a distractor, keeping busy, focusing on projects and tasks. All right, so question number 2. A loved one suggests jewelry be made containing their cremated remains. Would you wear it? Sure, I'd love to wear my loved one. B, I'd gladly accept it and then tuck it safely in a drawer. Or no, yuck, our memories are treasure enough for me. Yeah. Does anyone have thoughts on that?
There's a lot of interesting things now being done in terms of even like making a vase, making a pennant. I mean, there's so many creative artists out there that are trying to find ways to personalize that.
Yeah. So it looks pretty close. For 50% said I'd gladly accept it and tuck it safely in a drawer. I kind of feel the same. I feel like I would like it, but then I'd be so afraid to lose it or break it or something. And then 41% said, sure, I'd love to wear my loved one. So that's nice. I did see they can do ashes in like blown glass kind of thing. So yeah, there's a lot of options out there. You're right. All right, time for our next discussion question. What's a story or song that you hope is shared at your funeral or celebration of life? Okay, so let's move on to our next poll question. Would you consider a biodegradable burial pod that uses your remains to grow a tree? Totally, and if the tree bears fruit, you can enjoy me in a whole new way. Undecided, maybe plant a tree in my honor instead. Or nope, not my idea of returning to my roots.
So this is actually a specific product that you can add to cremated remains to make it then able to grow fruit or grow a tree. So this isn't how normal cremated remains work.
Yeah, so 81% said totally. And if the tree bears fruit, you can enjoy me in a whole new way, which is really interesting because we are actually working on having a group present at our May event from Recompose, and they are the group up in I believe in Seattle, Washington, that does just this. It turns human remains into soil. So make sure and look out for that event if it is something that you're interested in.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Okay. So our next question, you're dying. Should your family err on the side of over-medicating? Let me ride off into the sunset on a magical unicorn. Moderation, I want to say my goodbyes, but not be in pain. Or caution, minimal medication. I want to be as present as possible. Such an important question.
This one is a really important one that I encourage people to talk to their family members and healthcare surrogate about, because typically people have a hard time making decisions about how much medication is appropriate, and it's good to know where you fall on kind of this continuum.
I agree. So let's see what everyone said. 76% said moderation. I want to say my goodbyes, but not be in pain. Yeah. All right, and it's our next discussion question. So at the moment of death, a secret symbol appears that represents something you stood for or believed in. What is it? And I know we forgot to mention this before, but Megan is populating the chat with the discussion question. So if you ever need to look back on it, it's available there. So many interesting symbols. We had a sun and like something to do with family and beaches. Hopefully you all had wonderful conversations about that. So we are moving on to our next poll question. So you receive a prognosis of 1 month to live, but feel pretty damn healthy. You throw your own celebration of life party and take a dream vacation. Keep it on the down low, telling only family and close friends, or fight like hell to prove the doctors wrong. Thanks, Megan. Okay, so 71% said throw your own celebration of life party and take a dream vacation. All right, next question. Your beloved dies. Would you read their emails and journals? Yes, I would read anything and everything. I would read their emails for practical reasons, but not their journals. No, I would respect their privacy and not read any of it.
I just realized you could choose 2 things, so I did. But I don't think that's how a poll's supposed to work.
You can pick multiple. So 52% said, yes, I would read anything and everything, but 39% were pretty close behind, saying I would read their emails for practical reasons, but not their journals.
My husband and I argue about that one.
I know. I'm not sure I could keep my urge not to read everything.
I don't think I could either. That's why I was upfront with him about it.
He has to have that friend who burns things before you get to them, kind of thing.
Can I
Exactly.
comment?
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm not sure what I would do. And when I think about it for myself, you know, I wouldn't care if my husband read my emails and my journals. I feel like if there's anything that secretive in them, then I should be getting rid of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's probably true.
All right, our next discussion question. Given a chance to choose your very last meal, what would you indulge in? We probably should have saved that question for last because now I'm super hungry. We had talks of butter and bacon.
I got cut off from my chat room.
Oh yeah, it's after those last 30 seconds.
No, I mean before the 30 seconds.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You want to share with us, Casey, what your indulgence meal is?
Oh, anything that Maria makes. And then we were all agreeing that chocolate ice cream was top of the list.
Oh yeah, chocolate ice cream. All right, let's get into our next poll question.
Can I say something really
Oh,
quick?
sure. Yeah.
I wanted to answer Julie's question. She had a quick question. I saw it in the PCOA monthly pamphlet.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Because that's where y'all advertised, right?
Yeah. I was just asking Shauna how she found out about the series.
That's
so glad.
where.
I'm glad you're here.
Well,
Thanks, Shauna.
Sure.
All right. So our next question is, which of these eco-friendly burial options would you consider for your remains? Recomposition, body composting, aquamation, which is cremation by water, or mushroom burial soup. Yep, eaten by mushrooms. So it's funny because my son and I actually were researching many of these options, the body composting and then the cremation by water. And you can actually have like your remains made into like a coral reef. There's that option out there. I wasn't even aware of that. So yeah.
Can you explain, I was to explain aquamation. I mean, you're not really being creamy. I mean, can you explain it?
So my understanding is that you're basically placed in a vessel and water and alkaline water is used to kind of break down everything. And at the end, your basically your bones are processed into like a sand. And then family can then take your remains, and like I said, they have many options. They can do jewelry and
so they do the aquamation in a facility then, because then you're getting back somebody's remains.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
And how long does that take?
It's a very similar process to cremation. My cat died and we used aquamation for her, and we had her remains within about a week to 2 weeks, which is typical for cremation. It's basically breaking down the body with water instead of fire is the simplistic version of it. And it's the pros are it's more economic, or not environmentally sound, and the remains are also very fine, like sand, whereas cremated remains aren't as fine as what comes out of aquamation. So those are just a couple of things about it. I'm sure we can get some information and provide it into the chat too, if you give me just a minute.
Thank you, Lisa. So it looks like 55% said recomposition, followed by 36% who were for aquamation, and 32% said a mushroom burial suit. So I have not looked into that one. I'll have to find out what that's about.
I voted for all three, so I cheated again. Can't ever make up my mind.
You can't do that, Julie. Throws off the skew.
You're skewing the results. All right, let's see. All right, signs from beyond the grave are comforting validation that souls live on. Probably just a coincidence, I think, maybe. Not real. Once you're gone, there's no way to phone home. Do you like the ET reference, Lisa?
Thanks. This is my business partner's favorite question, one of them, because she really is a believer in signs.
Yeah.
And so is our group here.
Yeah, 67%.
Did Julie actually make a decision this time?
I did. I was with the majority here. Just chose one.
All right, so now it's time for our next discussion question. Who would you want to officiate your memorial service? All right, so I want to be mindful of everyone's time. We have a few more rounds to go, so I just want to make sure if everyone's comfortable with continuing, or if we want to have maybe a big group discussion. Anyone have thoughts on that? I get a thumbs up if you want to keep going.
You mean you can't just make a real quick poll question?
I guess we could, yeah, make it.
It could be nice to kind of keep us in a big group for the last remaining time. What do you think?
Okay, you want to do
And then
one?
people who feel like speaking up can speak up, and people who want to listen could listen.
Oh, I think that's a great idea. Thanks, Lisa.
I'll go for that.
All right, so we do have 2 more poll questions, and then we can do a large group discussion question. So after you die, how long should your significant other wait before dating? Sorry. Love is unpredictable. Grab it when you can. 6 months to a year, then it's fair game. Or at least a few years, or you better believe you'll be haunted.
This is another example when my husband and I have different answers. Now I know that I have to wait longer than I thought.
I had an aunt who had gotten pretty sick, and she tried to set up my uncle before she even passed. She tried to set up his next wife before, just to make sure he was.
I was giving him ideas too, just right now. It's like, well, this would be a good person for you.
Yeah, he was telling her, oh, stop it, stop. So 79% said love is unpredictable and you should grab it when you can. So. All right. So if despairingly lost on a deserted island, I would expect family to search indefinitely. This is me we're talking about. Be happy knowing they painstakingly searched about a year. Or hope family assumed I died and threw me a fabulous celebration of life party. I like where this question is getting to. Everyone made their selection. Yeah. So 58% said hope family assumed I died and threw me a fabulous celebration of life party. And 42% said be happy knowing they painstakingly searched about a year.
Oh my God, I am a narcissist. I was like, this is me you're talking about.
I wavered a little bit. You're not alone, Casey.
More that I don't want to be on the desert island, then I think that that's fair for them, you know?
All right, so here's our next discussion question that we're gonna do as a group. If you knew you'd die in a week and money was no object, what 3 bucket list items would you check off your list? So you can just unmute if you'd like to share.
One would be going to Australia. One of my.
I'm trying to hike every national park, and I haven't done American Samoa, so that would be one I would go to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping you mean every national park in America and not every national park.
Good point. Good point. Yes.
I think it would be travel, unlimited travel.
I would like,
for one thing.
I would like to do a lot of island hopping and at least do a zip line once.
I would like to have all my friends, go see all my friends.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on the food thing. I think I would hit like every restaurant that I loved several times.
Mhm.
You could fly around the world on the Concorde if there still was a Concorde.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've accomplished most. I don't know if I'm coming up. How do I get on?
You're on.
You're on.
You're on.
Oh, okay. I think I've got my bucket list. I think I'm pretty well done. We've been able to travel and I know what I like. And so now it's kind of like life is simple and beautiful. I've done my bucket list, I believe.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, it's a good feeling.
Look at Casey using her little clappy
You
hands.
learn how to do that.
That's impressive, girl. That's impressive.
When you're in marketing meetings, it helps.
Right.
I think if I knew I was going to die in a week, I would throw a big party and have the best wine. I love good red wine, and so I would have sushi and red wine, which doesn't go well, but we could deal with it. They could have white or water if they like, or some sake, but I would have a big party, and everyone that I know and love dearly, I would want them there.
That's good.
Yeah, you made me think that one of the things that I love is like I would want to have an epic game day and also a treasure hunt with super cool prizes and a lot of craft beer and awesome food, and just how like you said, all the people that I love. And to Casey's point, right? Like so many of my friends haven't met each other because people live all over. So having that time of all the people that you care about coming together and getting to know each other would be really, really sweet.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. Do we want to try and tackle one more discussion question? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So you get to relive one day in your life before you die. Which one would it be?
When I took synthetic shrooms at a festival.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I said when I took synthetic shrooms at a festival.
Oh.
Definitely one of my best experiences.
I'm pleading the fifth on that one. But speaking of being in another world, I remember being out in the forest and it's just bigger than I am. And I really, really, really love that feeling that there's just something bigger than me. And I really appreciate that feeling. So that's what the day that I would want to relive.
I think I would like to relive being underwater, scuba diving on a coral reef. To me, there is no greater beauty. You know, you see polka dotted fish and turquoise with pink, and I mean, just all different. It's like science fiction under there, and it just brings me such joy.
I'm going to stick with that theme. I had the opportunity last year, right before COVID hit, to go to Turks and Caicos. And I'm a big kayaker and enjoy chasing whales out in the ocean. And we had the opportunity to go swim with a baby humpback and her mama in this beautiful clear water. And it was the most magical and kind of spiritual moment that I've had. would, and I feel like we have themes here, right? The nature and connecting with something larger.
Yeah.
And then for the things that we want, bucket list items, there's a lot of travel and people, right?
Would it be cheating to say that you'd like to be the day you were born so you could do it all over again?
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I don't want to do it all over.
That'd be Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Life.
I'm happy I made it this far. I don't want to go back and try it.
John, as someone who's completed all things on their list, do you have a day that you'd want to relive?
No, I think just learning to enjoy the simplicity of life, whether it's gardening or taking care of things in the house, I just thoroughly enjoy it. I've done lots of stuff. So now I'm kind of at this stage of life, it's getting ready for the next, and I'm excited about it. So any day, simple living.
I love that.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
John is very inspirational.
Yeah. Okay. And our last discussion question, name a scent that reminds you of someone who has died.
I don't know what the scent is, but my grandmother used to use this powder that had some sort of a scent, and I inherited the wooden powder puff holder that she used. And for years, when I took the top off, I could smell that scent and it would remind me of her. And I wish I knew what it was, but it was very powerful to smell it and remember her.
My grandfather smoked cigars, and he's been gone since 1979. But every time I smell cigars, I'm back in the 70s or earlier with him.
I know the scent I remember I guess I can say whatever I want. It'd be formaldehyde from taking gross anatomy lab.
My grandfather worked on airplanes for many years, and so always riding in his truck with the rags, you know, the shop rags that had like fuel and oil and stuff on them, and you kind of have that like fuel smell. Probably super safe.
Yeah.
Not a fire hazard at all.
Right.
For me, it's Pond's cream. Always smelled with my grandmother and my mom. Of course, now I wear Pond's cream at night.
My mom wore Estee Lauder Chanel No. 5 perfume, and you know, whenever I smell that, I always think of her.
My mom was a Coco Chanel too, and so that's one. She passed around the holidays, and my sister had bought her a new bottle. It was kind of like her every Christmas gift. And I remember she'd always wear it whenever she got dressed up to go out, usually with my aunts and uncles on New Year's, and she'd get all decked out in her sequiny dresses, and that smell, it's just everything to me. So when she passed, right before Christmas Day, we still gathered, because that's what we did. We gathered at my mom's house. And my sister gave that to me, and I still have it. It's probably expired, but I can't throw it out. But that smell is like, just reminds me of her. So yeah.
Yeah. Jen, I'm gonna hop in just because I know we're getting it's almost 10 after 7, and I want to be respectful of people's time. I am so grateful for you all choosing to spend your time with us tonight, and Lisa for joining us. Thank you for creating this beautiful way to help people engage in conversation. I do think that, you know, the topic is so somber, and it's like, allowing ourselves to be able to have some levity around it, I think is helpful to open the conversation in a different way. And so I would love for you all to join us. We're continuing our series next month on Thursday, April 15th, will be a great discussion around non-pharmacological interventions for folks who have dementia and struggle with agitation, and ways that we as caregivers or loved ones can help with that. And then on Thursday, May 20th, will be the folks from Recompose that Jen was referencing earlier, they've built this. Basically, it's like a giant compost building where the bodies are laid to rest at the top. And then by the time they work their way down, I don't know how this all works, is why they're coming to talk to us, but because I'm sure you want your own person back, I'm guessing, I don't know. But so they're gonna join us. And then we're also trying to get one of our local folks, Christine Benz, who's a green burial advocate, to join us as well. So, and then we're gonna take a little break over the summer, but we'll keep going after the summer. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us. If you have ideas for future sessions, things that you want to learn more about, or people you think would be great to hear from, just reach out to us, Jennifer and I. You can email us at info@CASA Foundation. Both of us get those. But yeah, we really appreciate you, and thank you so much. Stay healthy, stay happy, and have a great night.
Thank you.
Yay.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Julie.
Bye.
Jennifer.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.